Hello everyone, you're watching Newegg TV. I'm Jennifer, and today I am here with Vincent from MSI.
Hello, Jennifer.
And you have brought me a new toy.
Yes, I did. It's a fairly large toy here, yes. A very high-end large toy.
This is the GT72.
Yes, the GT72 Dominator Pro. This is our newest GT series gaming laptop. It's a complete revamp of the GT series. If you aren't already familiar with it, you'll already notice.
I actually have the old GT70 right here. This is our workhorse.
Yeah.
Been around the world several times with us. We do all of our editing on away missions on it. And so let's take a look at the two of them inside.
Sure. So
what's different?
Everything is different about these two systems. Okay. Again, a complete revamp of the GT series.
Well, then we'll put that one aside and take a look at the GT72, which is very sleek and very good looking.
Yes, we'll start just from the outer shell.
Okay.
This is the back cover of the new GT72. You already notice, if you're already aware of the GS series, you can tell that we have taken some inspirations from the design of our GS series and applied it to the GT series. And so you see that we implemented the muscle line that you find on the GS60 Ghost onto the GT72 Dominator with our shield emblem. And it's a very clean and nice and solid brushed aluminum design on the back.
Yeah, it looks great. If you guys want to check it out, Vincent brought those in and did a interview video with Steve. So if you want to see the Ghost or any of the other GS series laptops, you can check out that video. Also, these guys were kind enough to bring in a whole set of them to let us do the Titanfall launch party. So if you want to see them in action, you can check out that video as well.
Definitely. So yeah, and then this is the back cover. And I guess since we're already looking at the back, I can already tell that we have a little bit of red accents throughout the system. Just on the back here, you have these two grills with these gamer-centric and MSI gaming-themed red and black on here. You got the red grills on the back, and you have the red strip in the middle there. And then on the front, you have the slight red trim at the very lid of the laptop as well.
Very tasteful.
Yes. So it's very subtle. It's not overly, you know, out there with the whole red accents, but we feel like it's a really good representation of just our gaming series and with a very clean feel to it.
Yeah, the nice thing about that is it can, make that transition that notebooks can do that other PCs can, is that they can make the transition to all phases of your life. So you could take it to a boardroom, you could take it to a school presentation, you can game with it, and it has that look and versatility that, really do well in that.
Yes, and of course, a lot of our fans, a lot of our audience is college students, and usually for college students, they always look for a high-end system because they want something that can last them throughout their whole college career. And for any purposes, you never know, what classes or what projects you're going to take on, but you want a system that can take on everything. So might as well just go something high-end. And this is definitely high-end. This will be available with a Core i7 CPU.
Okay.
4710 HQ processor.
Okay, so that's one of their new mobile series.
Yep.
Awesome.
And the 880M NVIDIA GeForce GTX graphics card. So it's the most powerful graphics card on notebooks. So you can pretty much play all the games you want to play. You can do all the editing you need to do, 3D art, 3D designs. It's pretty much can take on anything you throw at it.
Right, but before we get too much deeper into the internal specs, let's take a look at the new keyboard design that you guys have here. Now this is still by SteelSeries.
Yes.
So you're going to be running the SteelSeries engines, but I noticed that from the old one to this one, everything is different.
Yes. we're really excited to bring like this complete new design to gamers. Already you can tell we've actually removed a lot of the previous features on the GT series, like the top touch panel.
Yeah.
Everything, and just from the look of it, this is actually an entire just one piece chassis. So you've got no flex when you're gaming. It's very solid feel to it. You have the Dyne audio speakers straight up here with slight red accents, and it's got 4 speakers in here, plus a subwoofer, which we will show you when we get towards the bottom of the system. But yeah, it's a very, very, it's more than enough to fill up a room with, whatever you're doing, watching movies. And
well,
playing
plus,
games.
with the fuller size chassis, you get,
Right.
much bigger sound just because it has the space allotted for it.
Yes.
I'm going to tilt it up a little bit, though, so that we can let the camera have a better look at specifically this new touchpad and wrist rest configuration.
Yes. This is also we want to make sure we provide the best user experience. So what we did was we made this, we created a very seamless composite material for the palm rest. And as you can see, there is no indication. Everything is just seamless and flat, even for the touchpad. So it feels nice. It's very, it's easy to clean if you get fingerprints on it, but it's also very fingerprint resistant. So,
Right, because it's a new kind of composite, right?
Right, exactly.
It's what did you say it was? It was like a pseudo glass?
Right, correct.
Right, and
Yeah.
it has like such a nice cool feel to it.
Yeah, we wanted to, we liked the whole frameless aspect of it. It matched, it went really well with the entire system design.
It really does leave like almost no hand
Yeah.
prints at all.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Also, you've moved some of your hot button features over to this side, which I really appreciate. As you said, you took it off the touchpad. And honestly, I don't use this one a lot, but I use the Red Dragon version of the GT70 a lot. And I'm constantly accidentally shutting off the wireless because it's a touch toggle. And so I'll like wipe off the keyboard real quick when I play, and then I'll accidentally shut off the touch toggle up at the top. So I really appreciate that you guys moved all that to the side, but there's some new features over here that weren't on the other one.
Yeah. So we could go over that briefly. So top here is the power button. This here is the GPU button, which allows you to change between integrated graphics or the GPU on whatever you choose to do. If you want to, like if you're gaming on the go and you want to use the full GPU, like discrete graphics, then you can switch from the integrated graphics to the GPU manually.
Right.
So as you freely choose, you can do it whenever you want
Right,
to.
or if you want to conserve battery, you can
Exactly.
switch back to integrated. That's
Yes.
cool.
This button here is a cooler boost found on most of our GT series lines, so it increases the fan speed when you need it to. This next one here is for XSplit Gamecaster.
Okay.
So when you first initially activate it, it will there will be a pop-up that will allow you to sign up for XSplit Gamecaster.
Okay.
And we already offer 6 months free for XSplit.
Oh,
that comes
excellent. So it's included.
Exactly.
And then if people want to extend
Yeah.
later, they have the opportunity
We
to
actually
buy.
offer, like, we work with them to offer a discount on it, actually, if they want a more the premium version of it. We also do that too.
Okay, so hear that, guys? Streaming, game streaming off of a notebook.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
All included. And it's
Yeah.
and after you set up, every time after you activate it, then it will just automatically turn on XSplit and you just get into your game and start streaming your games. Very easy to use. So we're trying to make the user experience, gaming experience, as easy as possible and as painless as possible. So it just provides more game time for you and less time to worry about
Right.
setting up any sort of streaming.
And then making it easier to, share, get on Twitch,
Yeah.
save that gameplay footage if, you are a Twitch user or a YouTuber and you want to edit that footage into something, it's going to be right there for you, which is cool. And then the next button, I'm assuming, is going to be your SteelSeries engine.
Exactly. So this is to change the color scheme of the laptop, and actually we'll get to that when we do showcase what you can customize now. That's another new feature in the GT72 Dominator. But this button will allow you to change between your different profiles that you've already preset and your different color settings. So you can change between, if you have something set for like breathing, waving, whatever, however you feel like. Whatever mood you're in, you just press this button and it'll switch between your profiles and your color schemes.
Excellent. So some profiles that you might want to set up maybe are for if you do like more document processing and
Yeah.
then gaming and then
Yeah, you can.
other things.
The great thing is just like with our newer line of gaming notebooks, the SteelSeries engine will allow you to macro every single key, program it for whatever programs you want it to run with. So, example, if you're playing Dota 2, you can hotkey your different abilities or skills in whatever order you want. Or if there's a certain program you use often, you can program one of these keys to just launch it, like a quick launch key for that too.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you could do a lot with it. And you also will use the new SteelSeries engine to also customize everything from the keyboard, the mouse pad, and the front lights. Yes, the mouse pad and the front lights will light up.
Awesome.
So we will show you that very
Cool.
shortly.
So do we want to flip it over and talk about the new cooling system?
Sure. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Okay. So as we talked about before, it's got the new NVIDIA 880 mobile graphics processor,
Right.
which is like the top of the line for mobile graphics right now.
Right.
Very cool, but I do know that they do get very warm.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, high-end gaming. Usually, most people. That's one thing. And the first thing people wonder is, you have such a high-end GPU in the system. Obviously, the people are going to think, well, how hot does it get? So what we did is, in our previous GT series, we only had a single fan. Now, just obviously from looking at this, we've implemented dual fan cooling now.
Yeah, and you can see the difference between the two. If you look at this, the older model, we have only one exhaust vent back
Right.
here, and this is just kind of a panel.
Yeah.
So
We've increased the airflow and the efficiency of the GT72 Dominator to make for a much more efficient and stable gaming experience.
Cool.
And what we've done with the air intake is we've also redesigned the bottom of the laptop to make it more efficient for intake. And what we did with that is, as you can see here, we completely opened this middle section to allow as much airflow intake as possible. So we're trying to maximize as much airflow, and it still stays very silent, very cool, very stable gaming experience.
So it's going to pull air in from underneath
Exactly.
and shoot it out the back here instead
Exactly.
of this side. I think this one has two exhausts, and one of them is on the side over
Exactly.
here. So
Exactly. So,
That's
and
nice.
since we're at the bottom here, this right here is the subwoofer that we're referring to originally for the Dynaudio speakers. So
Right.
it's the 4 speakers on top, and then the new or the subwoofer at the bottom here.
now, is it an integrated amp, or do each one of these have their own amp?
So that's the another design that we've actually made or implemented to make for even more high fidelity sound and bass feel for the system. Each we have an amp for the audio, we have an amp for the subwoofer, and we have an amp for the headset jack.
Right.
So basically, that amplifies every area of your audio experience to amplify the bass, the sound output, how crisp your headsets sound.
Right, so if you are
Yeah.
a gamer and you're primarily using the headphones, that's really going to help you, especially in like FPSs when you need to hear somebody sneaking up behind
Exactly.
you, or you just want to have that more immersive experience. But then if you're, like you use a college student example, living in a dorm room, maybe this is your only entertainment device, you don't have a TV or whatever, this is going to give you full sound quality
Right.
without headphones on, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we've pretty much we have an amp chip for every part of the sound system.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So we've stepped up our game for that for sure. So yeah, this is the complete redesign of the bottom. Even the bottom here, you see the grills have the red accents as well. Everything about the system, we want to make sure we stay consistent with the theme and the design.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I also noticed that this is a one-panel piece down here.
Exactly. Oh yes, that is another design that we implemented purposely is. It makes it. We know a lot of our users, a lot of gamers like to upgrade systems because sometimes it's just not enough. So we've made this one piece so it makes it easier for them to remove and to gain access to the core, the hardware. So if they wanted to upgrade to like 32 gigs of RAM, they could. And mentioning, I guess since we're getting into that, you are able to configure up to 4 M.2 SATA SSDs as well. And
Wow.
this system actually will come with 4 for SSDs. That's our Super RAID 3 feature. And it will come with 4 M.2 SSDs already and a 1 or 2 terabyte hard drive.
So people who use this regularly, you're going to be raging when you switch to another computer that does not have the load times that this will have. This thing is going to be like
Lightning
unbelievably fast. Yeah. So you're going to switch to another computer sometime and just be like, why? That's why.
This is going to be, it's going to be one beast of a machine. Like people who get it pre-configured with that, or if they decide to upgrade it to 4 SSDs, it's going to be blazing fast. Like you'll load up your system in no time, you'll jump into your games in no time as well.
All right, so tell me about all the different ports and other features we've got around on the outside here, Vincent.
Sure. So there is no shortage of ports on this machine. As you can see here, we have a SD card reader. We have the audio jacks, which we mentioned previously, that there was an audio amp for it, so they'll increase the output of the sound for your headset. And then we have 4 USB 3.0 ports on this side.
Okay.
Yep.
Spinning around to the back, I noticed we've got quite a lot of connectivity back here. So how many monitors can this support in addition to?
This can support up to a total of 3 external monitors, including the notebook itself. So you have the 2 mini display ports and HDMI and an HDMI out port for multitasking. If you are, especially, a lot of us who work or art students who need multiple screens to do all different tasks at the same time.
Yeah.
This can act like this is pretty much a true desktop replacement system.
Or if you just want to show off and do multi-screen gaming.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, exactly. And the HDMI actually, if you want to take your system to the living room, one on a larger screen, you can actually play on a 4K display because the HDMI out is capable of running on an external 4K monitor.
Sweet.
Yeah, so if you really want to get into the big screen gaming, you can do that as well.
All right, I think I just spun it around to the same side again. All right.
And then lastly here, we have 2 more USB 3.0 ports and a Blu-ray disc burner.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so this really could be like an all-in-one entertainment system.
Exactly.
If you needed it to be.
Yeah, you can pretty much use this for everything, anything, whatever you want to do on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we took a second and put it up on some stands so everybody can see all of the backlighting that's happening now. So go ahead, Vincent.
Sure. So this is the light show here. We have the system on now, and just to show, you've seen this in the past where we have the multicolor regions on the SteelSeries keyboard. But from just looking at this, you can already tell there's already light for the mouse pad, and there's light on the front of the system, as we mentioned before. So
I really like this. I think that's such a nice.
Yeah.
It's such a nice touch.
It's a very, very subtle, but we thought it was really nice too. And we basically, this is what we're saying, when you can customize the colors for the front lights, the mouse pad, and the keyboard. So everything is controlled via the SteelSeries engine now for everything. And pretty much we want to make it even more personal, like customizable for the gamer, whatever they wanted to do with the system. So we added this extra feature in there. So we thought it was a nice touch to add to the system. And actually, just briefly going back to Dynaudio speakers, since we're here, I just want to mention, mistakenly said 4 speakers. It's 2 speakers. That was my bad.
The top, but so the system has in total, it's got the 2 up top, the subwoofers,
right,
and then but it has separate amps for all of the points of sound,
exactly, right,
including the headset.
Just wanted to make that clear.
What wireless networking are we running? Still on the Killer wireless?
Yes. So now that you mentioned that, for the wireless and the wired, we're using Killer Double Shot Pro now. Previously, we were just using Killer Double Shot, but what changed was the wireless is now AC wireless.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and another benefit of the Killer Double Shot Pro is when you have both the Ethernet and the wireless running, it'll actually combine the network bandwidth of both of them together for even more speed.
Right.
So it actually enhances and frees up a lot more network bandwidth, so you get more performance. definitely reduces on buffering,
game latency.
exactly, streaming. So yeah, double killer, and we're the only ones carrying Killer Double Shot Pro at this moment. So
Excellent.
yeah,
So you hear that? It's an exclusive.
it is an MSI exclusive.
And these are going to all ship with Windows 8.1 operating system,
Right.
correct?
Yes, this will ship at 8.1.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I mean, this is it's definitely a huge redesign step forward for us in terms of the GT series, and we're continuing to try to fine tune and streamline our entire notebook series.
And you guys have. I mean, it's I think it's something like 10 millimeters thinner. It's almost a pound and a half lighter.
Yeah.
So lots of trimming here and there.
Yeah. It's in fact it's lighter than the previous GT70, and it's even more portable in the sense of, even though it's a desktop replacement, it's actually not that heavy for a desktop replacement system.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get your arm workout.
Exactly.
Or you're a semi-fit person. No, really, it's 8 pounds isn't too bad to toss into a briefcase or into a backpack when you consider everything that you're carrying in it. I mean, it keeps you from having to carry a lot of other things. For sure. Yeah,
and we gave it an extra kick too. We've upped the power. It's originally on the GT series, it was using 180 watts. Now it's using 230 watts. So we have that extra room and definitely more power to use for the GPU, the CPU. So whenever you are gaming, you will get the maximum performance.
Right. Plus, with that GPU, being able to move from integrated graphics to the dedicated graphics, you'll be able to power save there too. So it is running a lot more efficiently.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So this is the new GT72 Dominator Pro, and we're really excited to have this out now and get these in as many people's hands as possible.
Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing it out and letting me play with it today, Vincent. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, if you liked this video or found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our various YouTube channels. And until next time, I'm Jennifer, and you've been watching Newegg TV.